Today on One, your daily dose of local affairs and social media commentary.
Today on One, Ombudsman to investigate President's remarks against whites. Judiciary launches state-of-the-art digitized courtrooms. Windhoek Municipality electrifies Ochimisa Extension 6. And women's hockey coach optimistic about team's rankings.
The Popular Democratic Movement (PDM) has laid a complaint with the Ombudsman against the President of the country for remarks made at a recent gathering in the capital. In a video making the rounds on social media platforms, President Geingob is seen talking about a certain ethnic group, stating that he has taken notice of the fact that they have allegedly declared war on SWAPO.
On November 25th, to vote for the SWAPO party candidates. We have seen white people registering in big numbers. I've never seen it that way. And they said, anything else but SWAPO. I have noted that. And I will forget that. People declaring war against SWAPO.
Led by parliamentarian and vice president of the official opposition party, Jennifer van den Heever, the PDM has called on the Ombudsman to investigate the remarks, describing them as a threat and an infringement on the rights of Namibians.
He was really threatening these people, that they enjoy peace and that they are registering in big numbers is a problem. But we also know that every Namibian has a right to participate in democratic processes. And we believe that the President is infringing on certain Namibian laws. For example, Article 17, 1, 2, and 3 of the Namibian Constitution that protects the rights of all citizens to participate in peaceful political activities. That is a basic right. It's not good. It's not good for the President to target a specific racial group just because they want to participate in a democratic exercise of the country. And it went further that these things have an adverse impact on the lives of white Namibians.
Van den Heever said that the remarks are meant to instill fear within a certain ethnic group leading up to the elections.
Our election will take place on the 25th of November. And I think this utterances of the President really instills some fear in the electorate out there, that they don't know whether they should go and vote or not. And this puts us really in a very awkward situation currently. So we really trust, and I take your word for it, that you will give the necessary attention to it. For us, it was just that it is really disheartening since our first citizen is uttering these kind of comments.
The Ombudsman, John Walters, said that they will first need to determine whether this matter actually falls under their jurisdiction, after which they will commence with investigations, and that will take about 3 months.
We set our date for completion of a file of the outcome of any complaint for 90 days. It all depends, Mr. Karengombe, that it is not in my hands to make a determination right now and give you tomorrow. You know that is what there is on the Ombudsman's logo, the other side of the story. And if the other side of the story is not forthcoming, like in that matter I have investigated, I have to beg for and threaten to get answers, then the delay is not with the Ombudsman, sometimes the delay is with the responding party. Having said that, you rest assured, you will have my outcome of this inquiry of the complaint within the shortest possible time.
They called on the Ombudsman to respond with haste. John Walters said that he will have an answer before the elections next month. Reporting for Today on One, I'm Joseph Shifene.
The judiciary has added 2 brand new state-of-the-art digitized courtrooms that will form part of the commercial section within the High Court, where most commercial disputes will be heard. The launching ceremony was officiated by the Chief Justice Peter Shivute and attended by Judge President Petrus Damaseb. Today on One spoke to the Public Relations Officer from the Office of the Judiciary, Oka Johnson, who said that the COVID-19 pandemic propelled the judiciary to be innovative and digitize its courtrooms to be able to conduct remote hearings.
As you can see at the back of me, there are screens, which means that video conferencing can be held here, but it's also made possible so that any presentations that the counsel for the respondents or that of the plaintiffs might want to do, then they can project that onto the screens. So as you can see, there are screens for both the judge as well as for the parties that are attending. Our other courts have already started with various types of reforms. In the High Court, we've already used video conferencing, and during the Corona or the COVID-19 breakout, we also did e-hearings in the Supreme Court, where judgments were read. We actually started a YouTube channel, and we also had hearings with counsel that were not in the country. So that also propelled us to be more innovative. So it is not the first of its kind, but it is towards ensuring that we become a world-class leader in judicial excellence.
At the same occasion, the Office of the Judiciary also launched their new website that gives the media and the general public access to information on various judicial proceedings.
It is also important to note that we did launch our website today. That is www.judiciary.na. This is an up-to-date website. It has been revamped, and it is all part of making information more accessible to the media and to other stakeholders. So we would just like the public to go onto our website and really enjoy the information that is on there.
The first commercial dispute to be heard is that of Alvin Pietrus van Straten and Namfisa, which took place shortly after the launch. The 2 new digitized courtrooms are situated on 25 Sean Lane Street, Windhoek West.
The top, that's where we all aiming, to be the top JITA, top company, to be at all the top rooms, to feel those top sensations. We all want to be at the top of our game, no? Earning the top dollar, men say, yeah, the top, with top score. Because for us, there's no braai unless it's a top braai, with some top chicken drumsticks on the grill. And there's no pub unless it's top score, cooked at top speed, with the top taste, the top aroma, the top texture. You know what I mean? The top! That's where we all aiming. And that's where Top Score takes us. Top Score, a proud product of Namib Mills.
As part of its informal settlement electrification project, the city of Windhoek recently electrified Ochomwise Extension 6 in the Kommersdal constituency. In a speech delivered on his behalf, the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Erastus Utoni, noted that the electrification project will positively impact those in the marginalized communities and move the country to complete infrastructure development.
The city of Windhoek has the responsibility to ensure that all citizens and visitors alike, who live within the jurisdiction area of Windhoek are provided with adequate and reliable supply in order to ensure, among others, free movement of people and to stimulate economic activities in marginalized communities, particularly to ensure a firm and speedy departure from the legacy of the past.
The mayor of the city of Windhoek said the project was due in August but was delayed by the pandemic. Up to 1,500 households in the area have been electrified.
This demonstrates that we are continuously working together to develop Windhoek. The road is very far. The road is very bumpy. But if we are working together, we will achieve. And we were just reminded by the Honorable Minister that we must change the way we are providing services. We must put up a little bit of speed. Time is gone when you have to take your time. People are not on that page any longer. This is the time when we have to provide services timelessly. And with your assistance and with what was promised by the ministry here, that they will continue lobbying for more funds.
One of the beneficiaries extended gratitude towards the Windhoek municipality, further asking that it also makes the land available to communities.
Thank you.
I want, Minister, when you cook the food in a big pot, when you eat alone, you won't see that the food is nice. But when you are eating with the individual people, they will tell you that the food is nice. Please, what we want, you can see that we can afford. We want, please, to help us and give us the land so that we can own this land to be our own property for our kids for tomorrow.
Imagine opening your Nedbank account anywhere, anytime by simply taking a selfie. Introducing Identity Today, a platform which enables you to open your Nedbank account, scan the Nedbank QR code with your smartphone camera, and immediately follow the instructions on the link that will open up in your web browser. Follow the simple steps to complete the account opening online form. Have your identity card or passport ready. Take a selfie and send it to us, and your new Nedbank account will be opened and confirmed in 3 minutes or less. Visit www.nedbank.com.na to shift your account to Nedbank today. Nedbank. See money differently.
The International Hockey Federation recently released the new National Hockey Indoor World Rankings, where Namibia's hockey women national team has made the top 10 and their male counterparts are 16th in the world. The male and female rankings are headed by Austria and Germany respectively. In an interview with Today on One Sports Desk, Erwin Handura reflected on the journey that landed them a spot in the top 10 of the Indoor World Ranking. He stated that hard work was the key toward attaining the current achievement in hockey.
It was hard work. I mean, when we started in 2015, I think it took us about 5 years to get there. So when we started in 2015, when I took over as coach, we were still ranked second in Africa, and we were ranked, like, I think 14th, 15th in the world because of the 2011 World Cup, in the World Cup that we went and played. So yeah, I mean, after 5 years, we managed to beat South Africa. We dethroned them as the African champions in 2017 at the Indo AFCON in Swakopmund. So from there we became number one. And then I think our big results, turnover came really at the Indo World Cup, where we finished 9th, where we played 6 games, won 2, drawn 2 and lost 2. So that's where we really accumulated good points. Well, the women's team, as we are talking, we started in October with preparations for the Indoor World Cup qualifier, where we train once a week and then play a game once a week. So we have a training camp also slated for November 27 to 29. So I'm having a training camp. And we are planning actually to start with outdoor in November as well. So unfortunately we have to run indoor and outdoor parallel because both competitions are taking place almost just one after the other. So if you want to do well in both, it's important because outdoor, you must also remember, Like I said, we are ranked 3rd in Africa and 40th in the world. But we are also ranked 13th in the Commonwealth Games, nations. So, but only the top 12 teams are going to the Commonwealth Games. As we know, the Commonwealth Games are in 2022. So it means we need to do well in outdoor next year to get good points. Because there's an outdoor AFCON qualifier in February in Harare. And then the outdoor itself, AFCON will take place in October. If we accumulate good points there, we can be in the top 12 to play Commonwealth Games. Then we qualify automatically for Commonwealth Games. So there's a lot at stake.
The women's senior hockey coach further added that the national team can improve its rankings as they are more than capable of competing against top teams such as Germany and the Netherlands.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think what's happening is that when you play against the opponents and then you start knowing your team, you start knowing the opponent. So it takes time to build a team and also to know your opponent. So now I know my opponent. I know how Germany and Holland are playing. They're the top 2 teams. And then I know how Belarus is playing. They're number 3. Number 4 team is Ukraine that we beat at the previous World Cup. And then all the other teams, they are beatable. So the more we play them, the more we will better. If you look at the top 10 teams in the world, we are 10th. Australia is 9th. So there are only 2 teams in the top 10 which is not from Europe. The rest of the teams are European teams. So it means we have to play against the European teams. We have to compete against them. Yeah, so that's, but they are beatable. We can improve because all we need to do, we have to beat South Africa, then we get good points because there are 425 points at stake. So we have to grab those points. And we are tied on 9 and 10 with Australia. So should we win that, then we're going to move up. And then going into the World Cup, there's also the points at the World Cup is more than any other competition. Then we can accumulate good points again. So I can see ourselves really, if we qualify for the World Cup, we might end up being in the top 6 or 7. Yeah, we should be in the top 6 or 7.
Due to the global COVID-19 pandemic, the International Hockey Federation and the Belgian Hockey Association in September announced the postponement of the International Hockey Federation Indoor Hockey World Cup, which was scheduled to take place in February 2021 and is now scheduled to take place in February 2022.
I'm in a meeting.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Okay, let's get right into it. Can we talk about the Q2 fiscal report? Ricardo, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Pewa. Well, it's clear we're feeling the economic headwinds. Profits have leveled and we're...
First place!
Sorry, guys, it's my dad.
Did you hear? I'm in first place. And I just broke the lap record.
Dad? I'm a bit busy here.
Oh.
Okay. Where?
Oh, sorry.
2020 just got crazier in a good way. You can now enjoy fast, reliable, and uncapped internet at 25 megabits per second with SpeedLink Lite Plus at crazy prices starting from as little as 898 Namibian dollars.
Telecom Namibia.
Sharing your world.
He has to listen to the information. Now, that information needs to interpret it and then convert it, and that part of the brain will then absorb the information. I think it will be a huge opportunity.
What is your true purpose, and how will I commit as a leader to continue?
When you speak about the communication and how it's being received,
how do you relate to people? I mean, those respect, love, those are the crucial things before you build the solutions.
In other leading stories, One of Namibia's foremost tourism organizations, the Namibia Wildlife Resorts Limited, has started a voluntary separation exercise to align its staff numbers in light of the impact that COVID-19 has had on the tourism sector. From 22nd of September 2020 up until the 22nd of October 2020, NWR has provided its staff with an opportunity to separate from the organization voluntarily. The voluntary separation exercise comes on the backdrop of its board of directors and senior management team taking a 25% reduction in earnings. However, these efforts alone have not been sufficient to place the organization in a better financial position. Therefore, the NWR Exco submitted a cost-cutting plan to its board, of which they have approved. One of the measures in the plan was voluntary separation with a view of ensuring the sustainability of the organization. And the President of the Republic of Namibia, His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob, concluded a meeting with youth leaders who have been leading protests against sexual and gender-based violence. Welcoming the youth leaders to the presidency, President Geingob reassured the delegation that their goals were achievable and that fighting against the scourge of gender-based violence was not only their struggle but also a collective one. The President reminded the youth leaders that it was essential for them to express themselves in a democracy. In addition to continuous engagement during the implementation of the response measures in the petition by youth leaders, the meeting agreed to the establishment of a technical committee comprised of youth leaders against SGBV and other stakeholders, including government. To conclude, President Geingob assured the youth leaders against sexual and gender-based violence that a policy of zero tolerance would be pursued, and as part of the ethos of transparency and accountability that he champions in governance, the doors of the presidency would always be open for dialogue and for finding common solutions to problems facing Namibians.
Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of local comments from the hottest social media pages. Children's advocate Ingrid Hasselman has urged the youth who took part in the Shut It All Down demonstration in Windhoek and became victims of police brutality and human rights abuses to file a complaint with the Office of the Ombudsman. Alfred said the Ombudsman should educate the youth on their rights. Apollinarius said the police should not be present at demonstrations because it leads to police brutality. Im said this is a waste of time for the Ombudsman, as men and women in uniform should be respected for doing their job. South African singer Lyra has been in the land of the brave since the beginning of the COVID-19 state of emergency and has since explored what the country has to offer, including its wildlife. The Federation of Namibia Tourism Association has identified Lyra as the new travel ambassador for Namibia. Nusiku said Lyra should put Namibia on the map. Nelau questioned how a South African gets to be chosen to be the ambassador for a country that has its own celebrities, bloggers and influencers. Festu said this is a marketing strategy since most tourists come from South Africa. Deshi thanked Lyra for supporting the tourism industry. Aaron said Lyra should encourage young girls to explore their own country. Claudia said, why can't our own people represent us? While Czech said Namibians are in general afraid of foreign competition and prefer opportunities that are handed to them. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today and One.
Win free airtime with hashtag #LearnOn1. Share your comments on the lessons. SMS your feedback, name and town to 555. Hashtag #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
Hello Namibia, my name is Adora and welcome to a brand new edition of the cool new show called The Ain't Like a Vibe. On this show we get to know who our artists really are behind the scenes and what inspires them, what keeps them going, what makes them tick. What are some of your favorite sounds?
Trap music, hip-hop.
Yeah? Okay.
Hip-hop, Afro dancehall.
We came from a background whereby we were raised by our grannies. So it's not the shameful thing for me to do because we used to sell and said we would work from Fambolokasi to Okuriangala.
Wala Namibia, this is your boy Tunisan. Don't forget to watch the Ain't Like a Vibe TV show on One Africa Television.
A look at the weather forecast. First, an advisory from the Windhoek Met Office. Heat wave conditions will persist in the far northern regions, so please do take the necessary precautions. The Namibia interior is sunny and hot to very hot in the west and the Klares region. Elsewhere, partly cloudy and hot to very hot. The coast, partly cloudy and cool to warm with fog patches at first. And the wind light to moderate northwesterly to southwesterly, but fresh to strong southerly in the south at times. Now a look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
Get the facts straight.
Now on BBC World News, the biggest African and international news stories focus on